last episode we didn't have any gameplay footage, right? Or like, oh, it delivered and it was solid black. That's what happened, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think this time we shouldn't have that issue.
Because I was thinking you can play Aptly Rolling and I'm going to play Balatro and we'll just two for one it.
Too. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I'm just going to do a little test to make sure that this computer can handle that.
I'm the one that invited you.
What's Balatro? How beefy is it?
Dude, I've talked about Balatro like 4 times.
Well, I keep forgetting.
It's the poker roguelike.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
You should play it because an actual demo, because I was like pirating the demo earlier, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Remember me talking about that? But now like
Yes.
they released an official demo on Steam and it's freaking awesome.
Heck yeah.
It's pretty poggers.
I would
Okay,
imagine
I'm
my
just-
computer could run that. It can run Minecraft just fine, so...
But can it also record and hold a video call? You know, like that's the question.
I think I've recorded Minecraft on that PC before. Maybe. I feel like I'm pretty sure I already have OBS downloaded on it.
I thought you would, but I didn't see it, so I just installed it.
Oh, maybe,
Where-
maybe I didn't.
Okay, I just did a little test video to make sure that like the frame rate is good. Where would it put that? Aha, here it is. Let me make sure that it's. Let me make sure that it's all good.
What's my least favorite map?
Are you chilling in the room with
We're
Matt?
ways to get downstairs. I only have
Yeah.
Is he just gonna be in the background of the whole video of the podcast?
I guess so.
Having a different conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have any other options. Because it's just always a roommate, like watching a movie in the
Uh-huh.
main room.
Well, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing.
This is great. I love this
okay.
game.
How are you?
I'm doing super good, and I've got. We didn't record last week, and I've got like 4 things to freaking tell you about.
Dude, heck yeah. Let's hear them.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What's thing number 1?
Well, thing number 1 is what?
No, nothing. Please go ahead.
You can't react to what's happening in the game because the footage that you're recording right now might not even be associated with this episode.
What? How do you know I was reacting to what was happening in the game? You don't know.
I mean, true. You could have been
could've-
reacting to. You could have been screaming at something else. I guess. That was presumptive of me. You're right.
I was reacting to what you said. That's not true. That was a
screaming?
lie. I fibbed. I'm sorry.
Dang, Balatro a good game though. It's actually really nice to play on your laptop. Hey everybody, people at home, my laptop broke and Ryan's letting me borrow his because he's a great guy. Balatro is actually really nice to play on your laptop because it has a touchscreen, and this game just works really well with the touchscreen because like the whole game is just selecting what card you want to play, you know?
Yeah.
Selecting the cards to make a hand, and then you go to the store and you pick what card you want to buy, you know? So it touchscreen works very well with this game.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and man, what have I been doing lately? I've been doing all kinds of fun things. Here, you know one thing I've been doing?
School?
Well, yeah, but I don't. Who cares about that? This isn't a podcast about school, Ryan.
It could be. It's a podcast about anything.
It's true. It literally is true. We've definitely talked about like the cabal of mechanical engineering professors trying to like kill their students, with homework. So
Yeah.
we
That's been my
could
life
talk
for the
about
last
school.
week. Like that's just about all I've been doing
Oh man,
in
dude, I'm
school.
sorry.
Like on Tuesday, last Tuesday, I was doing homework from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, that's not true.
How is that even physically possible?
That's okay. It's not
How
totally
do you have
true.
that much work to do?
I worked for 2 hours and I was in class for an hour and a half. But other than that, I was doing homework.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was an unusually busy day, but still, it happened.
Like, I always say this. Everyone who knows me knows I always say this.
Yeah.
All of my mechanical engineering friends, their workload is about twice as heavy as mine ever is. It's ridiculous.
That's just insane to me.
You're like, I just don't have to do as much crap as you, I guess. It's crazy. But anyway.
Unlucky.
Playing a game and talking is hard. How do you do this all the time, dude?
Usually by playing the game and talking.
Alright, just shoot any drones you see that are moving.
Okay, worst case, I will make time to record an hour of footage if this one also just comes back stupid.
If the footage is broken.
Yeah.
Again.
So
they're in the basement. We can just go to the basement.
If it's easier for you, because I feel like you're definitely you have the more interesting things going on in your life.
It's true. Or maybe the viewers at home can just look at this. Look at like I'll just play a hand like every 5 minutes.
Do you hear that, Jason,
anyway,
from the future? I hope so.
No, he doesn't.
Otherwise the audio's broken.
But anyway,
Jason's our
you know
editor,
Factorio, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we like Jason. He's a good editor. Factorio is a great game. So when the semester started, I was like, okay, cool, time to get back into the genre of game that is like games that I play during lectures.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played those kinds of games in a while. I like my go-tos have been stuff like Darkest Dungeon and friggin' Super Auto Pets. Balatro works pretty good as a lecture game for classes. But anyway, I was like, oh man, Factorio. I freaking love Factorio. Let's play some Factorio. And I booted up Factorio and I found my old save file from ages ago. And and it was like I had been playing, I don't know, for a few dozen hours, and it was my intention to just stick with one file for a while and like actually try to get to the end game mega base stage of the game. And so I opened my base, and this file was like launching a rocket every like 20 minutes or so. And so like pretty slow, but it was launching rockets.
Well, I have yet to launch a single rocket in that game. Don't even tell me that a rocket every minute is slow.
How can you say a rocket every minute? That's fast. I'm saying like every half hour to an hour. That's slow.
That's still pretty fast.
How can you call yourself a true engineer if you haven't played so much Factorio that like
you know how, Jason? You know how? Because I'm so tired from school that I don't have the energy to play Factorio.
You're busy like actually being a real engineer.
Yeah.
So anyway,
like,
I came back to this.
Factorio's just more homework.
But it's fun homework. That's the thing.
For like 5 minutes, I'm like, man, I could be like playing Minecraft or sleeping.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you call yourself an engineer. Anyway.
I know. I'm a disgrace to the engineer race.
The race.
Yeah.
Their basement.
Anyway, what was I saying? So I opened this new file and I was this old file and I was like, okay, cool. To expand on this base, really the next stage is like to tread into like mega base territory where you're like just copy pasting huge blueprints like for every time you need more circuits or wherever, you just throw down a new blueprint that'll make another, couple thousand a minute or whatever the heck. And and so I was like working on that. I was working on this big outpost and I realized that I wasn't really having a great time because it's like this isn't really the part of the game. I've never gotten to that like end game point, but it's like it's not really. I found that like at least when I was trying it then, it wasn't super satisfying. I just really like the journey of getting to like launching the first rocket, like all of the puzzles and problems that come with that. And so
the puzzle solving part of it.
Yeah. And so I made a new file, or like I was about to make a new file, and then I was like, you know what? I've been watching Dosh Doshington? You ever heard of this guy's YouTube videos?
I was literally about to talk about Dosh Doshington.
Oh boy, Dosh Doshington. So he's like a Factorio YouTuber that does like ridiculous challenge
He's the
runs
reason
and
Factorio
stuff.
feels like homework.
No, he plays Factorio in a way. You don't have to play Factorio the way that he plays it. He plays Factorio the most intensely I've ever seen.
But then like I'm playing
play
Factorio, I'm like, man, this isn't like peak efficiency.
Oh, outside.
Is it even worth it? And I feel bad, and I'm like, well, I don't feel like doing all the circuit math and whatever because I do that in class anyway. I'll just play something else. Just make like a redstone clock or something.
Anyway, his most recent video was, "Hi, I love you. I miss you. You're so cute." Mwah.
Jason, don't talk to your cat like that.
Sorry, I need to get my
Ew, it's my wife. I love her.
No, I was joking.
Boo,
Can
Ryan!
you use
No,
the other
Ryan,
hole that you made, Ridge, to go out and come back to
I
us?
love it.
We have so many
Warm here,
guests
but
in
if I
this
turn the fan on,
episode.
It's really hot. It's really loud. I mean,
it's because you're in here.
I was not ready
oh,
for
okay, I have to
that.
edit that out. That was a bit too spicy.
Uh,
I was already gonna edit that out. That's why as soon as she came in, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm fine with editing this. I want to tell her how much I love her. She's cool. Anyway, so Dosh Doshington, have you been following the C Block adventures, the C Block videos?
I haven't watched his stuff in a minute.
Okay, so the stuff that he has been doing for the last, I don't know how long it's taken him, but so basically there is a mod pack.
Okay,
There's a mod pack that like overhauls the game. It's called like Bob's and Angels because it's like you take all the Bob's mods and you take all the Angels mods and you put them together and they're like compatible, and like so Bob and Angels is like one of the overhauls that you can play with that is like popular. And the whole point of Bob and Angels is just to make everything way more complicated and take way longer. Like everything has like way more intermediate steps to like create, and instead of just mining iron and copper, you have to mine these other other ores that you then have to like clean and process and sort, which gives you iron and copper and stuff like that. So basically everything is more complicated, and a lot of processes have byproducts, often byproducts that you don't want. So you have to like figure out how to process those and how to like use them as like turn them into something that you need, or just figure out a way to get rid of them.
Chemical engineering the game.
Yes. Yeah. It makes the game a lot more complicated, right? And there is this is a tough pick. Another cool thing about it is that there's like 5 different ways to do everything. There's just like lots of different
beans.
Like there's lots of different processes. There's also lots of beans, but you can just like there's lots of different ways to do stuff. Like you can process things in a lot of different ways and using different ingredients and catalysts to get the same results. And as you go along and research more stuff, you kind of just a lot of things that you get are just recipes, new recipes to make the same stuff you've been making, just in a different, more efficient way. It's really interesting. Anyway, so you can like pump seawater, and in the base game, when you pump water, you just use it for water stuff. But in Bob's and Angels, you can process seawater and get like minerals out of it. You can get like mineral water and you can process stuff. So really, somebody was like, oh, theoretically, you can get every resource in the game from like seawater, right?
Yeah.
Like that as a starting point. So that's where C Block came from, is like, oh, okay, well then we're going to stick you on a tiny patch of land surrounded by water where it is theoretically possible to beat the entire game.
Theoretically.
And I mean not just theoretically, it's like in practice it is possible, yes. But it's just insane. And so Doshington has been making a series of videos where he's trying to launch, I'm pretty sure he's just trying to launch like a single rocket, and it's taken him like hundreds and hundreds of hours, and his base is like it's powered by beans. It's insane.
That's the only thing I know about it.
So I was like, okay, let's play Factorio again, and then I was like, you know what, I'd love to try an overhaul mod or something like this. And I really liked those videos. I'd seen some other overhaul mods, but I really liked what I saw in his videos about how Bob's and Angels worked. So I started playing a Bob and Angels run of Factorio, and I'm like 20 or 30 hours into it. It's insane. It's really, really fun, really breathes a lot of life into the game. And it really expands the part of the game that I honestly enjoy the most, which is just the problem solving at the first stage of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I would highly recommend it. Maybe not if you haven't, like, you know, if you're not that experienced with vanilla Factorio. Like maybe launch a vanilla rocket first before you do something like that. But it's super fun. It's very satisfying. But yeah, like to make the very first science pack, which would normally take like 30 minutes, it took me like 10 hours.
30 minutes? That takes me like 2 hours.
Okay, well it took me 10 hours to do in Bob and Angels, so it gets crazy.
What the heck? That sounds like homework.
Okay, well then maybe Factorio isn't for you, but because it's immensely satisfying. It's so satisfying. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, I can see the appeal. Probably once I'm not in school.
The thing about Factorio, and also I'm just a huge fan of like programming engineering video, like puzzle games, like Zachtronics.
Sure.
I freaking love Zachtronics games, and I think the reason is that like it's like school, but it's applying my favorite things about school in like a controlled environment where there's a right answer. Or maybe not a right answer, but it's like, you know, you have like in programming puzzle games, you have a very limited like instruction set, if you want to call it that, you know,
right?
Like everything is just a lot more like sandboxy instead of like, oh, write this application and like go on Stack Exchange every 2 seconds to try to figure out how the frick to do this stuff that you don't like, that you've never learned. Like, oh, what's this library? What's this function? And in a programming video game, it's like, okay, you have like these 10 instructions or these 10 symbols. Try to do this. And it's like, ooh, that's fascinating. How would I do that?
All of the things you need.
You have like perfect knowledge, basically, of everything. Yeah. Yeah. And Factorio is sort of the same way, where it's just like, it's so much, it distills what's so satisfying about engineering and cuts out all of the, you know, difficulty of actual engineering.
Yeah, the part where it's like, well, frick, how do I even do this basic thing?
Yeah.
Because that's me in engineering all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I don't remember what the sign of a tangent's cosine is or whatever. Gotta look that up.
Yeah, but in everything in
Oh, it's outside.
Factorio is
It's
good,
outside.
basically. Factorio is really freaking good.
I would highly recommend it if you are a masochist.
No, I wouldn't
I'm
recommend it if you're a
joking.
masochist. I mean, I would recommend
It's a
it
very
if you
good
are a
game.
masochist.
Because you can make it very masochistic.
You can,
Which
you
Josh
can, like,
Washington has
their
done.
heads on it. Their heads on it.
yeah, you can make it. You can purposely make it explicitly painful for yourself if you want
Yeah.
to.
But it is a very good game.
Like I've seen mods. There's plenty of mods that are like purposely trying to make the game worse and harder. Stuff
Yeah.
like, oh, everything is a liquid. You like fluid management? Now gears and conveyor belts are fluids.
That's disgusting.
It's amazing.
Nothing but pipes.
Yeah, just pipes everywhere. Or you can be those crazy people who play on like death worlds and stuff where just the whole game is just like you have to like stick to a schedule. It's like, okay, if you don't have your first turret up and then in the first 20 minutes you just lose because you can't fight
Yeah.
off this wave, and then if you better have enough defenses to fight off. Yeah, it's crazy. You can really fine tune the game how you like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Minecraft. Play Minecraft, everybody.
Just like Minecraft. What are your what's your preferred way to play Minecraft, dude? With like mods and such. Do you mod Minecraft?
On my computer. I prefer vanilla, actually.
Really?
Just because it's like, yeah, I think it's fun. Kind of same thing you were saying. It's like a limited set of tools. Let's see all the fun stuff I can do with it. Like I feel like there's plenty to do in vanilla that I don't really need to mod. Because like I've never beaten the game in vanilla. I've yet to do that.
Same.
I gotta go,
Beating
go. I took it, go. I took it,
actually
go.
beating
I took it,
vanilla
go. I took the
Minecraft is
Monte, go.
quite the
I
undertaking.
can't hear you.
He's only got
Actually
two.
beating vanilla Minecraft is quite the undertaking.
Yes, yeah, no, it takes a fat minute. So it's like, I want to master vanilla before I hop into any crazy mods. But I think doing like an RPG mod would be kind of fun.
That's a fake alibi. Cool.
Because I feel like I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of potential
Real
for
mods
that
driving around.
being fun in Minecraft.
So have you been playing a lot of Minecraft lately?
I have been playing some. My
Oh,
girlfriend
nice.
and her roommates made a realm. So we've
Oh, that's
been
fun.
playing that. Yeah,
That's
made it
super fun.
Yesterday.
I'll go chill first. Okay.
The way that I play
I s-
my
I
relationship to Minecraft at this point is like, I don't know, I play it every so often, maybe like once
Yeah.
a year. I'll like make a new file and I'll get into it for a while. But other than that, it's basically like when someone I know makes a realm,
Yeah, no, I get you. I get that.
I'll play on it. So if your girlfriend is chill with
don't have a reach at all.
her boyfriend's old roommate hopping on, I would totally chill on a realm for a little bit.
I mean, maybe whatever she gets the freaking chance to meet you guys. The timing
true,
has
we
just
haven't met her
been
yet.
the worst. The timing is like I promise it's not on purpose. It's just been awful timing.
Down the hall.
She's not just
Those
avoiding us.
schedules.
That's good to know.
Yeah, no, she's been like, I can't wait to meet them.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm gonna put
Just
my
hadn't
shield.
had an
Well, we're really
opportunity.
excited to meet her too.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait to
I
meet
have
her.
another shield, so I'm gonna use it.
Shut up. Oh my gosh, dude. Anyway,
Yeah. But yeah, my life honestly super boring right now. I
Yeah,
just
but
do
I'm gonna drive
homework.
that before you reach.
That's about it. So I am probably the worst person to have on a podcast at the moment.
Oh, he's right here.
I'll be honest. There's like 90% of the population leads a more interesting life than I do right now.
well, what's school kicking your butt with? What classes are you in right now? You crazy
so-
physics, mechanical engineering man.
I'm taking excuse me. I'm taking what's it called? I'm taking a history class. It's for a general. It's all right. It's nothing like super great, but
What kind
it's
of
all right.
like a history of what?
It's civilization to 1500. It's like ancient history.
That's fun.
Yeah. So like there's definitely some interesting stuff there. Then I'm taking a religion class for another general. It's required at our school.
Putting that shield there, forcing him to come over, and we just sat there and waited for him.
You love to see it.
Oh yeah, and that class is pretty good too.
Those are all
What else am I
GEs.
taking?
What about in your major?
It's okay, you can't.
Yes, that's where it starts to get interesting. This isn't in my major, but I'm taking mathematical cryptography. That's an interesting class.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Learning about ciphers and stuff. I coded up a modified Vigenère cipher in Python from scratch, which was like a beefy
I don't know what
project.
that is, but that's pretty
man, it
cool.
felt good. So it's just an old cipher that's like not
me and Ridge were
that
just
secure,
like,
especially
I
by
don't know
modern
what it is.
standards. Like when you just have
Uh-huh.
paper and pencil to crack it, it's a huge pain and like it's kind of secure then. But if you have a computer, it's baby food. It's like literally like it's so easy to crack. It's like the stuff we use nowadays is like super crazy complicated with like 128-bit keys and whatever. So it's I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But a Vigenère is just like a 4-letter word key or whatever. Like the key could be like a secret or password.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, coded one of those up. It took me a hot minute. That was one of the reasons that I was doing homework for so long on Tuesday. Because I was having to,
That
like,
makes sense. When you have a big
Python little
project
bit.
like that, yeah.
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 But that was good. This week's also going to kind of suck because I have 2 exams. So it's not super fun.
You love to see it. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so that class is super interesting. Then I'm taking a thermodynamics class, which is...
Now we're getting into it.
Yes, that's engineering. And that class is good. It's a challenging class. There's some differences to like regular physics and engineering that you might like usually see. Like you do a lot of stuff per unit mass instead of not per unit mass. So it's just I don't know. It changes a lot of the equations in ways that aren't always super intuitive. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, it
Then
sounds
I'm
kind of nasty.
taking computational methods, which is a brand new class they're offering this year. It replaces like statistics and like this other computer class you had to take. Basically, it's learning how to use programs like MATLAB in an engineering context. And if you don't know what MATLAB is, don't blame you. I didn't know what it was either until I like started taking engineering courses. It's basically this linear algebra based computing program. Is kind of like a computer program, but like less robust.
MATLAB is one of
How
those
would you
things
describe it?
that I would describe MATLAB as a really fancy calculator. Like it can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's half calculator, half programming language. You know,
It's a calculator that's specifically designed to be programmed.
yeah. And it's. I know that you can do way more with it than I've ever had to in my classes, but like we've always used it for like drawing like really complicated graphs and stuff, and like
Yeah,
for
that's
generating
mostly what it's
filters.
useful for.
What we use it for in analog circuitry is if you want to design a filter, like hey, I want a bandpass filter, I want a digital filter at these frequencies. You can use MATLAB to generate coefficients that represent that filter, and then you can use those coefficients in a big gross equation that a computer can run to filter a signal.
Yeah, and like 1/100th of the time it would take a human to run it.
Yeah, MATLAB is crazy.
Probably faster.
The other thing I was going to say about MATLAB is it's one of those freaking things that my professors just all of a sudden expected that everyone understood and knew how to use.
Yeah. Because, like, there's no class on it, but, like, you get to a certain
No.
point in your major, and they're like, all right, we're going to use MATLAB to do this. And it's like, we're going to use...
And you're like, what? I've never heard of that.
It's like when I got into my electrical engineering class, they're like, all right, we're going to be programming in C. And it's like, I barely know what that letter is. Don't expect me to be programming with it.
The same thing happens to me with Python, where
Yeah.
I just reached a point where suddenly I'm expected to program in Python, and every other time I've had to learn a language or use a language, I was taught it explicitly in the class that required it.
Yeah.
But the same cannot be said for frickin' Python.
Because they're like, oh, it's such a basic language. They probably have it down by now.
And it's annoying because like half the class does indeed have it down, and I don't know where the frick they learned it. Like, maybe they learned it from like an internship or like personal projects or another class that I didn't take.
Maybe they took like CS 110 probably.
Yeah. Or that's another annoying thing is they straight up like at BYU they like restructured. I heard that they restructured some of the early computer science classes so that they start entry level computer science is now Python instead of C++. And for us it was C++, and which was great because I already knew some C++ and I was like, nice, my first couple classes will be super easy. Yeah. But now I don't know Python.
Now everything needs to be in Python.
Yeah. I'm in a robotics class and I it's all in Python and I just know enough Python to get by for whatever class I need it for, and then I forget it because I've never had to like actually really use it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, honestly, college can be very frustrating in that aspect. Where it's just like, well, you should know this thing that
time
we never
to go
taught
learn it
you
on your own
or
time.
told you to learn. So now you're gonna have to do all the work in this class while also doing all the work for another class, but on your own with no help.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get
That's
a
life.
degree out of it, so I can't complain that much, honest. Like,
Freaking
I'll be making some good money.
whoever's idea it was that like students should receive a well-rounded education, freaking like Plato or like George Washington starting a college. I don't know. Back when all the Ivy League schools started, and they were like, students should receive students. You know what students really need? They should spend 4 years studying, their specific major, their field, really getting a deep understanding of their field, so that they can, enter the industry or the workforce or just society and just be a really smart, a cool cookie,
Yeah.
And they should also spend like a straight up year of their time in school taking classes that don't matter at all to their
that
major.
they will never think about again.
Just
almost.
Because, and it's like I get it. A well-rounded education makes total sense on paper. It sounds great,
Oh, sure.
but like in practice, the classes are so pointless. And like GEs are so pointless.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention because I don't care, and they're easy.
I aim for a C, and that's it.
Yeah, it's silly.
Because my time is way better spent than my other classes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yo, have you ever heard of a French children's TV show called Miraculous: Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir?
Yes. Who was telling me? I think it was actually Kelly who told me about this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you know? What do you know of Miraculous?
I know that it's super cutesy. It's like an anime, something. Her friends watched it a bunch. It was like weirdly good. Honestly, I don't remember that much.
So it is. It's not an anime. It's a 3D. It's like a CG 3D animated show.
Oh, okay, that's right. I thought it was an anime, and she was like, "No, it's not an anime."
Well, it was
"Oh."
like. It's actually interesting because I'm pretty sure it was like originally pitched by the creator as an anime. Like he wanted it to be an anime.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it got turned down or whatever because clearly it's not an anime. It's a 3D animated. but it's kind of funny because there's lots and lots of like, I don't know, references in the show itself to the fact that it was at one point an anime, or there's just like, there's lots of, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like whenever, like every so often a character will like be explaining a plan, or you'll just like see them daydreaming or whatever, and it'll all be like in a 2D anime style. Like it's really cute.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So they'll have like things like that sometimes. But yeah, so I was introduced to it by my wife because she was like, "You have to watch this show with me," and
who is a person.
I was like, heck. I mean, not heck. I was like, heck yeah. That's what I meant to say. I did not mean to say heck.
Did I screw you up with my
heck?
Heck.
Yeah, you totally did. So here's the premise of the show. There's a girl. Her name is Marinette. She lives in Paris. She's like in junior high. She has a crush on a boy named Adrian, and who's also like a male child model, and she's just like this
Oh, that's right. And they like love each other, but like every time they both really like each other, but then every time they're about to like they figure it out, like they lose their memories or something like that.
Well, so Marinette is in love with Adrian, and Marinette is also a superhero called Ladybug.
Yeah, that's right.
And so there's the like supervillains will show up in Paris, and
that's right. And Adrian's a superhero too.
Yeah. So Marinette is Ladybug, and there's another superhero that she fights with. She works with named Cat Noir, and together Ladybug and Cat Noir save the day every day, and they don't know each other's secret identities, but in reality, Cat Noir is Adrian, and Ladybug is Marinette. Yes, and it's juicy dramatic irony because Marinette is in love with Adrian, and Adrian is in love with Ladybug.
Yeah. And
they don't know that they're in love with each other, right?
Yeah.
And it's very cute and it's very sweet. And so the premise of the show is there's this supervillain called Hawkmoth who has the ability to like when someone is like under duress or has like really high emotions or is just like really like distraught or sad or angry, whatever, Hawkmoth can like sense that and then take advantage of their emotions sort of and turn them into a supervillain. And so then Ladybug and Cat Noir, that's called being akumatized, because he uses these little evil butterflies called akumas for some reason. And he says, "Fly, my Akuma, and evilize them," and it's absolutely ridiculous and over the top. It's amazing.
That's insane.
Like he is so overdramatic. It's incredible. So the whole premise of the show is you'll have like some slice of life scene. You'll have like Marinette and Adrian at school or something, and they're just living their lives, going, and then you have some kind of conflict or whatever, and then somebody gets real sad and then gets akumatized and turns. So when you get akumatized, you get turned into a supervillain with some weird, bizarre power that's usually tangentially related to like your personality or what you were upset about or something like that.
If their dog dies, they turn into a dog.
Who
the heck is calling me? Hang on. What the heck? Dude doesn't talk to me for like 3 years and then tries to Discord call me while I'm in the middle of recording. Anyway, sorry, go on, Jason.
You're not going to answer? You're not going to answer your long-lost lover or friend or something? I didn't hear who it was.
No. No. Anyways,
somebody
gets Zoboomafoo'd.
Somebody gets Zoboomafoo'd, and then Adrian and Marinette both like have to surreptitiously like sneak off from like their friends or whatever, so that they can transform, so that nobody knows that they're
Yeah.
Ladybug and Cat Noir. And then
What happened if somebody found out? Like, why would that be so bad?
I'll get to that in a second. Just so they they defeat the akumatized villain, and and then they capture the Akuma, and they, for some reason, Ladybug just has the power to like, she has this magic yo-yo that she fights with, and she can capture the Akuma in the yo-yo, and then it comes out as like a normal butterfly instead of like an evil butterfly, and then she says bye bye little Akuma, and then everything goes back to normal. And she also
is Kuma French for butterfly?
Probably, I don't know, it sounds Japanese, which I don't know.
Your wife is French.
Akuma Matata.
Ha ha ha.
Anyway, so yeah, so and then you know, everybody learns a life lesson or whatever the frick, right? So
yeah, like every good kid show.
Ladybug has the power of creation. So there's
Whoa!
these things called these things called,
you can't just drop that.
so there's these the reason
She has the
that they
power
have,
to create life.
not like that. So the reason that they can create the reason that they have superpowers, I mean,
Yeah.
is because they have these
In the
things
beginning,
called
there was
Miraculous.
You can also, if you want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the lore is that there has like always been a Ladybug and there has always been a Cat Noir. So yeah,
So I was making a joke, but it was actually kind of true.
yeah, the writers stole your idea. They stole it.
I'm gonna scream into my mic and ruin this recording.
So, gosh, what was I saying? So they have these things called Miraculous, which is why the show is called that, and that's like a physical. So it's kind of weird and confusing, but it makes sense. So it works. So Marinette has these earrings that are her Miraculous, and
Her Miraculous.
and so she basically, so there's this thing called a Kwame that gives her powers, which is in
Tell me more
Marinette's
about the
case.
Kwame.
It's a little it's basically like a little spirit thing that is like the embodiment of that power. So she has the Kwame of creation, which is this little ladybug looking thing named Tiki that can also like talk to her, and she's friends with it, of course. And so Tiki basically like inhabits these earrings, which are the Miraculous, and using when
So
Marinette
the earrings
is
aren't
wearing
miraculous.
the earrings,
They're the Miraculous.
yes, they are. The earrings are
Okay.
a Miraculous.
Oh,
If that's not confusing
not,
enough.
Not a miracle.
No, they are
They're
a
miraculous, not a miracle. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
And
I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that.
whoever wears the earrings can turn
Doesn't speak good
into
English.
can turn into Ladybug or a similar
Yeah.
superhero and have the same powers as her. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
So like Ladybug
when-
could like have her so identity theft for Ladybug is like a really big deal actually.
So when Marinette wears the earrings, she turns into Ladybug. She has the power of creation, which
Yeah.
means that she can. Every Miraculous has like their one token special power, and so creation
Okay, I'm not
means
gonna make that joke. Anyways.
creation means that she can. She says like Lucky Charm, and then she creates
Give me Lucky
an item. She goes Lucky Charm. The show gets
Somebody
worse the
stole
more
me
I
Lucky
try to explain it.
Charms.
She
Cap can.
oh my gosh.
Go
So
on.
the Lucky Charm, her ability Lucky Charm
Right.
just like creates an object that helps her
like
defeat the
perhaps
villain.
a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow.
No, like an egg beater.
What?
I'm not kidding. It creates like really stupid things, and then it's like part of the like the whole point is that like she like the Lucky Charm gives her something like really weird, and then she finds
Yeah.
some ridiculous way
Wait, so she doesn't
to
choose.
use that to defeat the villain. She doesn't
She
choose.
doesn't
No,
choose the Lucky Charm.
the Lucky Charm gives her like what she needs. It knows better than she does, I guess. And
So it's omnipotent.
yeah, basically. And and then so they use the Lucky Charm in some ridiculous way. Sometimes it's very, very clever, and sometimes it's just like stupid, like really dumb.
Where it's like, you use the egg beater to make the air
You
spin,
used the egg beater
and it
to
got
hit a
him.
light switch, and then the lights were off, so they couldn't see. And then you snuck up behind them, and you deakumatized them.
You
Good job.
beat them. You curb stomped them.
So, yeah, and then the other part of her power is after they're done. After they're done, she takes the Lucky Charm item and she says "Miraculous Ladybug" and throws it in the air, and it like part of her power of creation is it like repairs all the damage that happened.
It just like
from
pops
like the
out
fight.
on any consequences.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So all the damages goes away.
Hello?
Cat Noir's
Did I
ability.
offend your Kuma sensitivities? You cut out for a second.
Yeah, I had to go cry for a second.
Okay.
Cat Noir has the power of destruction, so he can like one time he can like destroy anything he touches. Yeah, the creation of destruction.
Dude, I've never seen that done in like a piece of media before. Sorry, I'm dumping all over this show for no reason.
Oh my gosh. So that's the whole show, right? Basically,
Yeah.
like they do their freaking they have their like slice of life stuff. Somebody gets akumatized, and then
Right.
they defeat them, and that's the whole show. So the first 2 seasons of the show freaking suck. They're just all filler. It's just setting up the formula. It's just the same thing over and over. Every episode is the same, right? Every episode is just that. And you slowly are introduced to more characters, like more you meet like all of Marinette and Adrian's classmates, which are the secondary supporting cast for like the entire show. So it's kind of important to meet them all. And also one by one, literally every single one of them gets akumatized.
That's cool. So
In,
they
like,
all
every episode.
they all become butterflies or whatever.
They all get turned into the butterflies turn you into some bespoke supervillain monster of the week kind of style. Like
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe I should have been paying attention instead of roasting this children's cartoon.
Well, you don't need to pay attention because, like I'm saying, the first 2 seasons suck and don't matter. But they're important because they set up the formula.
Wait, hang on. They don't matter, but you immediately say they're important?
They're important because they
Which
set up the
is
formula
it?
and they
Which
introduce you to
is
the
it?
characters. But like, you don't need to pay very close attention when you watch them, and you kind of have to slog through them. Come season 3, things start getting actually interesting, and season 4, season 5, it's like it's bonkers. I live for the Miraculous lore, dude. It's so freaking good. It's so good. So like in season 3 Hawkmoth. So something that's really interesting about the show is that like the status quo changes pretty frequently. Like Ladybug and Cat Noir get new powers, which is cool, but Hawkmoth, the villain, also like increasingly gets more powerful.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. So eventually you learn that Hawkmoth also has a Miraculous. Like that's how he's doing this stuff. He's the Miraculous are these super powerful artifacts that I guess are supposed to be used for good. They can be used for good, but he just uses his for evil or whatever the frick. I don't know. You also learn that Hawkmoth is Adrian's dad.
Whoa!
Who is Gabriel Agreste, who is this super rich, like richest billionaire dude ever, and like a fashion designer.
Of course he's evil.
Yeah, of course he's
He
evil.
makes clothes.
He makes clothes. And you also learn that he's like a tragic villain, I guess, because he
Because you can't just
Adrian's
have somebody that's
mom
like actually evil.
No, he's pretty freaking evil. He's very evil. He does very deplorable things, which is refreshing. But
But you're supposed to feel bad for him.
Adrian's mom is dead, and
Oh, boo-hoo! Cry me a river.
and Gabriel, because he's like been studying the Miraculous for so long, I don't know, he's figured out that you can do this. If one person has both the Miraculous of creation and the Miraculous of destruction, you basically have all of the Infinity Stones. You know,
You become God.
you can the way what it explicitly does is you can like make a wish, and you can make some insane wish that can like rewrite reality, basically.
So
right?
so it's like that weird sun and moon clock thing from Kirby.
What the frick?
You know what I'm talking about? The wish star.
This isn't nearly as deep as Kirby lore. Don't worry, Kirby lore goes far.
Kirby lore goes hard.
Kirby lore goes and goes and goes, man.
If you guys haven't taken a college course in Kirby lore, you need to.
A side by side with it's co-requisite, which is like Bible theology.
It's part of the world religions course.
Anyway, so he wants to bring his wife back. That's like his whole goal, right?
Oh, what a evil guy! Just wants to bring his wife back. Gotta hate him for it.
He's very evil. He does a lot of awful things. Like he is very
like trying to get his wife back.
Like he's just a bad parent. He's like super cruel to Adrian and super controlling, and and
Wait,
also
so Adrian lives with this dude.
Yeah, because it's his dad.
But
and Adrian doesn't know that. Adrian doesn't know that his dad is Hawkmoth, and Hawkmoth, his dad, doesn't know that his son is Cat Noir.
How dumb is his dad?
Because it is actually like it's actually really silly because like when Marinette and Adrian transform, they still look exactly like themselves, just with like a mask on. But they actually
powerful ballroom mask.
They actually address that at one point, and like they say that the masks have like they like I don't know, they obfuscate, they make it so people that you look different. I don't know. There's magic. It makes it so you can't. Yeah, it's really baloney.
There's holes in the plot of this children's cartoon.
The lore gets really freaking crazy because really crazy stuff happens. Like one, they really emphasize that like nobody can know their secret identities, Ladybug and Cat Noir, because then Hawkmoth would know like, okay, let me just like wreck your family members. Let me just I know how to get to you. I know how to hurt you now to get the Miraculous from you. And there are several episodes. There are several episodes where, through some turn of events, Marinette and Adrian do like their secret identities are made known, and then like it's a freaking doomed timeline, and like the apocalypse happens. There's like at least 2 different times where they like have to go back in time and retcon it happening. It's insane.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Like there's a really cool episode. There's a really cool episode where Marinette decides to tell Adrian who she is, and they like realize that they're both in love with each other, and they're super in love, and it's great. And then the Hawkmoth finds out, and it's like literally the world ends, and it's insane, and they have to retcon it. It's crazy. It's a really cool episode.
I think that's what I was thinking about when they told each other that they're in love with each other, but then like they had to forget it or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I was referencing like 20 minutes ago.
Anyway, the lore is super freaking deep, and like it just goes way, way, way harder than a children's show has any right to go. Like in season 4, in season 3, I think, there's like this wise old Asian man who gave them the Miraculous, because of course it's a wise old Asian man who's like the guardian of the Miraculous. And
as you have in France.
There's not just the Miraculous of creation and destruction. There's also like 20 other ones. And so in season 3, Hawkmoth gets a second Miraculous, so he has more powers. And also he changes his name to Shadow Moth. It's really silly. He changes his name every time he gets more powers. It's really stupid. He's super like a stupid
40-year-old man.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Anyway, so he gets more powers. So then Marinette goes to the wise old Asian man, and he's like,
Right.
okay, they start doing this new thing
Some
where
wild Asian man proverbs.
he gives Marinette like another Miraculous,
Yeah.
and she like chooses someone to like be the bearer of that Miraculous, and you know, and then they fight with them. So it's always, she always picks just like one of her classmates. It's ridiculous. It's super dumb. Like, why do you only pick 12-year-olds?
Can she pick herself?
Sometimes, yeah, you also see people wearing more than one Miraculous at a time and using multiple powers and like combining them. So that's interesting. So you're introduced to like these 8 or 10 other Miraculous that all have their own powers over the course of like season 3 and season 4, which is really interesting and really cool. And then the season finale of season 4 is like insane because at the end of season 3, the old Asian man is no longer like the guardian of all the Miraculous, and instead Marinette becomes the guardian of all the Miraculous.
Whoa.
And then the season finale of season 4 is she is tricked and she loses all of them, and Hawkmoth gets all of them. And
here's my question.
It's actually like insane. It's like, wow, I would never imagine a children's show. It's like pretty dark. It's really cool. It's cool.
Here's
anyway,
my
what was your question? Yeah.
So you get the Miraculous of creation and destruction. You get them both, and then boom, you can make any wish come true that you want, like in Kirby and the Dream Star or whatever. Adrian and Ladybug are good guys, and they team up. Why don't they just like give one or the other their Miraculous and be like, all right, wish Hawkmoth out of existence?
They actually address that because they show, I'm pretty sure they show that happening, but like basically whatever wish you make, it's like, okay, if you save a life, it costs a life kind of thing. Like everything has to be balanced. So basically it's like, it's like it's a genie wish. It's a devil's wish where it's like something is going to get twisted. Like the world will end if you make a wish, basically, is like the way that they talk about it.
Then why is Hawkmoth trying to make a wish?
Because he doesn't care.
But if the world's going to end,
He's
his
evil.
wife is dead too.
Oh, no, maybe.
I don't know. That's the kind of it's something like that.
People always behave in purely rational ways. That makes no sense.
Anyway, the season 4 finale. Season 4 finale. It's insane, dude. Like when Marinette realizes that like she's been tricked or whatever, she straight up has like a like an anxiety attack, and it's like, this kid's show is really good. Like, this is so cool. Like, it made me so happy when Hawkmoth, because like he ended up with all of the Miraculous except for Ladybug and Cat Noirs. And then in season 5, when he akumatizes people, he gives them the powers of Miraculous, of like a certain Miraculous each time. So they're akumatized and they also have extra powers. And it's cool because it's like, okay, we've been slowly introduced to all these other powers and seen how they work. Now you have to fight against them, you know? I just think it's really clever writing to like turn it on its head like that. It's really cool. And then the season finale of season 5 is insane, and there's so much lore. Oh my gosh, okay, here's one thing. So the second Miraculous that Hawkmoth gets, that when he becomes Shadow Moth, is the Miraculous of the Peacock, which the Peacock lets you create a Mux, which is a stupid name. You can create an Amok. It's a stupid name. Basically, you can just create like a temporary servant creature that can like do whatever. So he'll start akumatizing people and also giving them like basically some kind of sentient tool, if that makes sense. It's just this like temporary servant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they can do, and like when you create an Amok, you can like give it whatever powers you want. And whoever when you create an Amok, you also create, like, you choose a specific item that is like controls it. Like whoever is holding that item basically can give commands to the Amok. Yeah. And so if you're able to get that item away from them, you can control the Amok kind of thing. And also whoever's controlling it can also like dismiss it, like make it poof, go away. Right? So there are you start to notice that like Adrian's father's control over him is like a bit more than what makes sense. Like Adrian himself starts to notice it, where like his father will tell him to do things and he is like compelled to do them and he doesn't know why. Like he has to obey his father.
Yeah.
And then they start doing visual teases where like Gabriel will, when he's like commanding his son, he'll be like touching a ring that he's wearing. And
oh shoot, is
then
Adrian in a muck?
Is he a freaking Centimonster or whatever they're called? It's a Centimonster.
Well, I thought you said it was in a muck.
Sorry, the muck is what the feather that they use is the amok. The creature it creates is a Centimonster. Just like the butterfly is an Akuma, but the villain it creates is an Akumatized person. It's a Centimonster. Basically, it's like, oh shoot, is Adrian a Centimonster? And when Hannah was like, we watched an episode where like something similar to that happened, and Hannah was like, oh, did you notice that? Like people look at that and people like, there's a fan theory that Adrian is a Centimonster because of that. And then in season 5, they straight up confirm he's a freaking Centimonster.
Wait, then why doesn't his dad just tell him to stop fighting against him?
Because he doesn't know that he's Cat Noir.
Well, but I mean, like, just be like, son, stay home forever.
But here's one thing is that he has like a servant named Natalie who just like lives in the mansion and helps out and stuff and like basically raises Adrian because Gabriel is a neglectful father.
Yeah.
And there are 2 rings. It was like Gabriel and his wife's wedding rings were like the objects they used as Adrian as like the command object. And Natalie, the servant girl, has the other one.
Oh, so she's got it too.
Natalie, well, yeah, for a while, Natalie helps Gabriel, but then she's like, okay, you're actually insane and evil, and I'm not going to help you anymore. So she's wearing the other ring and, like, encourages Adrian to be more, like, rebellious and defiant and, like, to actually live his own life kind of thing.
Yeah, giving a robot free will.
Yeah. So that there's that influence. It's really freaking fascinating. That
means
crazy.
Adrian doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, I don't
Is he
I don't know
ginger?
what the repercussions. No, he's blonde. I don't know what the repercussions of Adrian being a Centimonster is, but it's crazy. It's
just soulless being from the depths of hell.
Yeah. And you also learn that his mom died using the Miraculous that creates Centimonsters is the Peacock Miraculous.
Yeah.
His mom died like because like the Peacock Miraculous was like damaged or broken for some reason. And if you use a damaged Miraculous, it freaking will make you sick or whatever, make you die eventually. And then Natalie uses the Peacock Miraculous, and then she like freaking starts dying. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that she might have died because she created Adrian. I don't know. Ugh. And freaking at one point, Cat Noir and Ladybug are fighting Hawkmoth, and Cat Noir uses his power of destruction on Hawkmoth, like by accident or something. And normally Ladybug, she does her like Lucky Charm thing and repairs all of the damage that was done.
Yeah.
But like the time that he did use the destruction power on Hawkmoth, like it was after the Lucky Charm was used, or like Ladybug wasn't there or something, so it never got repaired. So for the whole 5th season, Gabriel is like slowly dying, and it's super intense. It's crazy. It's insane.
Well, does he die?
I'm not gonna spoil this. Yeah, he does.
Let's go.
The season 5 finale is actually kind of wild because Gabriel wins. He gets both Miraculous. He makes his wish. He brings his wife back and like sacrifices himself. It's kind of ambiguous because he was also gonna like die anyway. But I think that like he sacrificed himself. I don't know. It's not actually that clear, but like he wins, and for all intents and purposes, it seems like the world is a better place because of it. So it's kind of like, what the frick? Like, whoa.
So there weren't actually any stakes to begin with?
I don't know. I'm not super happy about the season 5 finale. We'll just have to see what season 6 is like. But
so the main villain's dead, and like the show's still gonna go?
Yeah, because there's plenty of other antagonists that and one of those other antagonists. There's more like school bullies, and one of the school
really?
bullies.
We're gonna move from like a existential.
Well,
the Earth is gonna die to like, oh, this kid's being mean.
They show at the end that one of the school bullies has was able to steal the butterfly Miraculous. So it's like, oh, is she just going to be the new Hawkmoth? I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe season 6 will just be bad. I don't know. But
I'm calling it right now. Season 6 is going to be just like seasons 1 and 2.
Seasons 3 through 5 are insane. Very, very good. Ugh. Man, I just ranted about Miraculous for like 40 minutes or something.